Right, we're back. So I actually just finished drawing the medieval thumbnail, Middle Ages thumbnail, etc., etc. Factory. And set pod studies. Okay, production. Subway station, and I can't really see the rest, but I think, yeah, okay. Assembly plant, of course. Natural gas power plant. Construction firm, natural gas power plant, oil plant. Subway station. And then down the line. So that's the easiest way to handle things. Mine or mine? Oh, you're done with adding production? Heck no. Okay. Subway and do all the car stuff. Okay. Oh, you're done with that. So I have to wait until steampunk. Okay, Tanray, wait on that. Engineering school? Yeah, the engineering school is just better. Since Jute doesn't really have much population to work with. To the point where the levy isn't even a good idea yet. Ish. Okay, Roper Clay Pit, Elephant Camp, Straw Gatherer. Down to the town, okay. University. Yeah, factory. Oh, now I can add commando. I don't really need it at all. Marine Institute. Yeah, those tend to be somewhat pricey, so it's a good idea to build those wherever possible. Is there anything I want to talk about? Well, admittedly, the medieval thumbnail didn't quite go to plan. Although, then again, I know I'm awful when it comes to drawing details, so... I mean, there's a reason why usually the background is a map. Lets me avoid all the things that I'm not that good at. Which, again, details. Yeah. Okay, the engineering school is pretty much mandatory. And nothing's fast enough to outpace it. Except maybe this. Tricky to tell how much production I would get. Well, this gives me plus 10%, which is 3. So 4 or 5? Okay, the carpenter is good enough. Factory gives plus 16 production. I think the university would be better to build first. Although that may change with the addition of various things. Province improvements. There. Tile improvements. Okay, so you've built your modern offices, so you can actually build the construction firm now, although the assembly plant comes first. Yeah, it's plus 7, okay. Build the power plants. Mammoth Camp has priority over everything but, of course, the assembly plant. The assembly plant is just ludicrous. It's high enough output that I can really just ignore everything else. Because it simply produces more. Of course, when Steampunk comes out, there's going to be a new set of production buildings to work with. But that time is not here yet. Ah, it's far. Yeah, okay. Build the camps first, and then natural gas, skyscraper, oil power, subway station, you, skip, you, that. Sure, why not? It's only 4 turns. Can't build a Marine Institute anywhere reachable. Man, airplanes gonna make things better and worse at the same time, because that means I can airlift any animals I want to any time I want. I'm just gonna let you think for a moment how much decision paralysis that can cause. Thankfully, I've done a much better job of checking things over than I have in previous games, so I'm reasonably certain that, at least in most tiles, I don't have to worry about it. I'm happy it stays that way. For it to stay that way. Especially since new animals don't tend to come up. I can put all my focus on ensuring, you know, water animals are fine. Fairly early. Of course, the industrial farms being a thing means I don't need to worry about.
Indeed, whenever a new idea is developed, as for example, ballooning, warfare immediately takes possession.
Yep. But hey, balloon rides are great for funding my budget. Which I'm going to need down the line, considering how much I'm focusing specifically on production buildings, which, quite a few of them do require a pretty high amount of maintenance, so... I'm just gonna assume that I won't be able to get anything useful out of that. It makes sense. But yeah, there is a scarily high propensity for us to weaponize new inventions. Even if they don't immediately have weaponizable consequences. Like, the first thing we did with quantum science after, you know, we figured out all the, you know, outside of more physics stuff, which I think is an exception here. Well, can be excluded from this. It's the nuclear bomb. So, well, the atomic bomb. So, and I think the second thing was use it to power ships, warships, the big ones. So carriers, and then down the line also submarines, I believe. Although for different reasons than with the carriers. For the carriers, you need a really massive engine. And nuclear power is excellent at providing such a thing. Whereas with that, the thing, Jigma Bobber, yeah. I'm gonna wait and see on that one. With submarines, the issue is emissions. Not for any, you know, environmental reasons. More of the fact that the emissions from most engines are not easy to get rid of when you're a good ways underwater. It's like trying to radiate heat in space. Well, get rid of excess heat in space. It ain't an easy task. Right, so should I place up here or start working my way down to here? Nah, let's fill in this spot. Well, I assume this spot's good one. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, well, I could pick a different spot. Just gonna trouble check the Thylacine remains, which are actually the reason why I can build paleontology labs so quickly. Rolling Thunder. Oh, I lost the firearms promotion? Great. Well, I've already got Combat 6 on you, so... At 3 Barrage, why not? Yeah, right. It can't really... It isn't able to use maneuvering or that, so... Oh, Shark Studies. Nice. Yeah, let's go for this tile instead. I can better exploit... I can use more tiles this way and not get step on this city's toes as much. Plus, I'm not going to build pasture on horse tile. Much better to just have it there. Let's give you first strike immunity. Clam. Neat. I mean, it's not exactly amazingly useful, but... I can save anything else for later. I'm gonna get steampunk at some point, which will change around the calculuses. Anyway, so... Bird closure. Ooh, marble. Neat. Quarries aren't the best, but they're still pretty good. They're on a reef, which is not good. And it's probably fine. Right, head back. Whom? Yeah, admittedly, the medieval one didn't quite go to plan. I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm not good with details. So the, for lack of a better term, vision wasn't really what I wanted to end up with, but it happened anyway like that, so not much I can do about it. Okay, I don't want to use a shark for Marine Institute, but there is a spot for sharks down there, so. Oh boy, that did provide a bunch of culture, didn't it? To a lot of cities. And now I reap the rewards. Ah, that didn't take long, okay. Never mind, it wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it would be. Assembly plant is 60 production in 20 terms. Snatch. Turns into a construction firm, so... The guild hall is also fairly good. Probably not necessarily the best option. Maybe. I definitely want that construction firm, though. Because that can get me 13... Well, actually, that number's inaccurate. It's really 20 production. Okay. Okay. Oil refinery. And then, where's the modern offices? Oh, no, 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 no. I forgot about you! Yeah, it's better than the guild hall, even. Yeesh. You and you. You, I guess. Okay, and then I need to figure out where those modern offices are. Do I need a skyscraper for it? No, I shouldn't. I cannot recall if the modern offices are before or... There they are. Yeah, they're after the whole mess of factories. Okay, good to know. I'm not placing it on this tile because having a connection to the sea is just better for a city. Where's this? There. It's the tile. Hydro dam. Okay, that will give me more production. So it's a burnt down forest anyway, so... I'll lose that anyway. Soonish. So... Mining camp first, as always. Long shot. Lumber camp, ancient customs. City's too new to properly do stuff. Give it time. It'll figure things out on its own. Conscious is our magnetic compass. Reason our chart. +1 extra moves for water units. Least encryption machines and submarine warfare. Oddly, a tech that does not do that much. Which is rarer than you might expect. Okay, truck shipping warehouse. Let's handle your food supply. A bunch of factories. Right, start buying that manganese. Of course, now, since I am done with medieval, that means I don't need to worry about it anymore, and I can start thinking about what to do for Renaissance, which, well, you've obviously seen it before already. If you've gotten to this point and nothing serious has happened, yes. Oh, can't attack at all. Great. How am I supposed to farm XP with you? Okay. It feels a bit odd, but sure, I guess. Yeah, those get replaced by the farm scraper, so there's no reason not to build them. Because the farm scraper, is a very far away thing. No, I will not specify what exactly it is. Because I'm mean like that. Da, 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 da. Yeah, just the order of that thing. It's the fact that I've memorized these buildings so well is a bit disquiet. On the other hand, I do spend a lot more time doing this than anything else in this game. Setting up the building queues. There's no way I hold 20 million souls. I have 87% of the world's population. You cannot tell me that the world's population in, let's split the difference and call it 1080, was less than 30 million. It had to have been at least around 100 million. I think. I may be overestimating that number. But I refuse to believe that I'm that wrong on that front. Just keep running around and doing your thing. Oh, I can finally build a lumber mill here. I've waited ages for that to be a possibility. Bird enclosure. More signs, please. So what I have planned for... Well, actually, since I've done Medieval, that means I'm slowly catching up, aren't I? Well, it makes sense. I've been, lately, recording 2 times a week instead of more often. Which has consequences. Of course it does. So it's obvious that I'm slowly going to start catching up, assuming I continue the whole 2 times a week to that. To the uploaded videos. Of course, for this race, I'm also attempting to edit more than 3 times a week, as well as upload as well. Though there is the very simple problem that I can't actually edit, although really for the most part my editing is just slapping on the end screen, because it just makes things easier. I can record without having to worry about it. Especially since it tends to be a bit trickier to tell what is a dead period and what isn't in a game that I'm not used to recording. I can do that easily with MNT. Tell when something's happening and when something isn't. So I can trim down a 1 hour set, 1 or 2 hour recording session to, well, 10 to 20 minutes. Add more shark studies. That's what the sharks are for. Whereas with Civ, this is trickier.
Why is a woman to be treated differently? Woman suffrage will succeed, despite this miserable guerrilla opposition.
An important tech, though sadly it does nothing to help me because of the country's political situation. I said it before and I say it again. I think the best way to consider it in these circumstances that they always actually had that. So I don't need to build women's suffrage. Sure, factory. Okay, I believe that's all the production buildings. Yes, until I finally build that steampunk. So for now, the focus should be on building up food. I can't build potato chips because I need potatoes. I don't have olives anywhere. Orchard olive. Vineyard. Yep, okay. Those aren't really of real importance. Oh! Parskade will... Well, finally be done with that. Soon enough. I think I already sent someone there, so... I need more production more than I need commerce. Plain and simple, so... If the option gives me more, then I will absolutely take that first. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I figured. Do wonder, is that enough for another whale studies? Down here. Doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah, my idea for Renaissance is based upon, you know, those ye old paintings. That, you know, one of those paintings about Christopher Columbus meeting the natives, I think, the Native Americans. At least that's what it's going to emulate, if I can do it well enough. If. If. Details is always something I've been a bit spotty on. Probably because I prefer to draw in flat colors. Just makes it easier for me. Factory that tile as well. Start building railroads in the area so that I don't need to deal with it. Birds. Ah, you built your industrial farms. Good. Actual gas power plant. Okay, so Mammoth Camp first. The funerary services give +4 in 10 turns. The natural gas power plant's better. That should be the only one, though. Okay, skyscraper, oil power plant, subway station, industrial park. I'm assuming that the Edison's thing isn't actually being built right now. I don't remember if I've started construction on that or not. I really can't remember. So. Oh, and I should build the modern offices. Where are they? Okay, here they are. They're really expensive, though. It is funny how the industrial farm lets me build a mammoth camp, though.
Water is the best of all things.
I'm not sure if it's the best of all things, but I won't deny that it's very, very helpful and vital for life. Animation, I guess. Motorsports. Expressionism. Popular non-sports. Cubism, and then... Yeah, finish things off. Yep, no more tech. Okay. I've got the rest of the tree planned out. There we go. That was easier than I thought. Oh! Edison's workshop. Excellent. The extra production from engineers is something that I'm looking forward well, putting to good use. Asphalt roads. Let's get all those camps and shrooms all the way. Good. Let's get your food production up so that it's no longer... Which city did I do that for? Was this city? Yeah, okay. Because more food productions means more citizens, which means more specialists, which means more production, probably. And usually more science, too. That one's a big one. Just move here and... Right. I definitely need to improve the tiles around past our gating so that it can start building itself up properly. Cod. Oh, that means fish pens. In a city that has enough population to actually build them, which is like 20 population. Oh boy. Is it higher? Oh, I can give... I can't read it when it's that small. Waipahu, the Marine Institute at least. Oh. Got a new level. Yeah, let's beef up that ranged assault. It could come in handy in when dealing with Sioux eventually. I'm pretty sure that's the TF2 edge. I guess I wasn't able to pull one for one reason or another. Okay, you've got your modern offices built, so construction firm at a rate that's actually fast enough to technically outpace the Mammoth Camp. I really should build that first because 450 production Yeah, that's not much. And of course, subway station. Fine. I'll accept the trade yield. Yeah, I think I'm getting through this a bit faster than I normally do. I'm not certain about it though. I don't pay much attention to the actual time counts. I mean, I know I... Wait. I discovered coal somewhere. Great, now I don't know where it was. Maybe here? Well, that would be really convenient. You were fast. Okay, so... You're inland, so you don't have quite as many buildings to work with as possibilities. The factory is good. The engineering school, however, is better. And there's these two, and this. Which are fast enough so that I can just say, build those first. And this, I guess. Yeah. One-turn buildings can be built first. And then so I can get the FX pretty much immediately. Anyone here with... that's fine. I already had a mine there, so... That just means more commerce to work with. Is there another city that I can just do the fish pens in? Yeah, it looks like it's 30 size, which is... big. Yeah, 30 size is pretty much the point at which it becomes functionally impossible to use all the tiles. No, other way around. Where you can actually, it becomes basically a given that you can use all the tiles, right? Well, it depends on how big they are. Let's say the city tiles worked automatically. At 3 range, there are 12 in the outermost square. Further in, you use all the squares involved, which is 16 squares, I think? 4, 4, 4, 4, yeah, okay. And then the innermost ring is 8. Ah, 36. Wait, am I counting this right? 8 plus 12 is 20, plus 16 is 36, yeah. Oh, so you really do need 36 citizens. That's both more and less than I expected. In a way. Ah, remembering how numbers work is always fun. that list of buildings. That is not a fun list. I'm gonna have to work my way through all that, aren't I? The gondola canals. Okay, the cobalt mine is actually very good. Not good enough for me to consider it before that, though. Industrial park is one free engineer. I get 5 production from each engineer. That is more than I expected. Coal plant is still more efficient than the cobalt mine. The industrial park is good enough for me. Says the skyscraper isn't though, so. Anything more, I'm gonna wait until later. Because the dynamos from Steampunk will change things around. And I don't want to mess with it too much. With the cities that don't have quite as much production, at least. Although admittedly, the 36th count is solely for cities that can use the full reach, which are extremely rare for multiple reasons. Okay, no reason to do the concrete maze. The tree nursery, though, is a good idea. Construction firm needs to be built. It could be 9 production. I think that's reasonable enough to actually take steps towards building it. Soonish. Okay, modern office it is. Yeah, because I've already gotten all the big hitters out of the way already. There, okay. I just needed a minute. Lumber mill. In the off chance that I get a resource out of that tile. It's not in reach of any cities, so that's the reason why I haven't actually improved it yet. But the various improvements do.
A movie is never finished, only abandoned.
That's true of any work of art. At some point, you have to stop making edits to it at some point or another, and say, okay, that's it. I will not work on this anymore. Believe me, as a person that does some level of art. Henna. You can't do the fish pens. I'm not sure. Okay, you can do the Marine Institute. Any capturable water creature can do the Marine Institute, right? No? Yes, okay. Oh, there are potatoes here. There are potatoes here. I don't have potatoes. And having those potatoes is going to be very helpful. Fine, build the fish pens. They're ludicrously cheap, I guess. Alright, work your way through the remaining food buildings. Because I will fully admit, I have enough science production. For a long while, at least. So I'm happy to let it just do its thing. In science, because once I'm at the point where it takes less than 10 turns to research even the furthest ahead tech in an age. Yeah, I think I'm good. I'll get to the point where animation's researched and then call it for the session. Which, if I'm right, should also be when that the next time the statistics page comes up. $5,000 gold isn't that much. I mean, my budget has taken a really bad hit recently, but it's not that much. Mountain mine. Railroads. Oh, a Great Admiral. I haven't actually gotten that yet. Or at least if I have, I've only gotten a Great Admiral once, I think. Yeah. Fairly... Why are you placed here? Fine, Assyria could, I guess, use a military academy. Okay, no production, but you definitely have food, otherwise the squid net wouldn't be here. It's an option. Agricultural extension, neat. Okay. Maybe I should specify, I didn't actually do the drawing time-lapse technically. I did draw it and record it, but I haven't picked out the music yet. So, but I'll be doing that soon. It doesn't actually take that long to edit a drawing time-lapse, since shorter time period, technically. Although then again, there is the fact that I have to compress anywhere between 40 minutes to over an hour's worth of footage into, well, approximately the correct length. Oh, lumber mill can provide hemp. Okay, hemp's amazing then. Although I will say this, I'm not going to use any of the choir music. I do have a tendency to avoid choir-like stuff, so. Okay, let's see here. Under protest. Well, it's Hangaroa, so I guess I can put some effort into civil engineering. Oh. Huh? Huh? But I have civil engineering. Oh, World Wonder Zero left. Oh, I'm already building this somewhere. Okay. Right, so I'll build the bridge. And that animal trainer horse so I can build the chariot workshop. I'll build the bridge so I can build the Golden Gate Bridge so I can have it in every city. For free. Well, at least every city that can take it. Has to be next to a river in order for the bridge building to be accessible. Okay, the lumber mill is cheap and fast. Not quite as cheap as fast as these. I'll figure things out down the line. Neat. Sophistication 4. Alright, next turn will be the last. One. For now. Okay. Fine. I am building steampunk, right? Yeah, I think so.
Animation offers a medium of storytelling and visual entertainment, which can bring pleasure and information to people of all ages everywhere in the world.
Yep. That is very much a correct statement. Fortifications again. Very annoying how easily it can fool me into thinking that I can actually build on the tile. Okay. Ignore the screeching metal sounds. Those are perfectly normal. Yeah, let's call it for now. Yeah. 3 sessions at the most, I'll be an atomic. I mean, sure, most of the remaining techs are some of the longer ones, but it still take less than 10 turns. Atomic Lifestyle is going to take 12, assuming I don't do anything that it's going to increase science, which admittedly might actually be the case. Yeah, I admit that I haven't been building any science buildings recently, and I've focused on food instead in order to try to beef up citizen count. Admittedly, there are limitations, but hey, I've got potatoes now, so... Potato chip factory! Which we're getting plenty of gold, too. Neat. It's very much needed. Yeah. I've also plopped down cities. Oh, a city here. I could have sworn I was building steampunk somewhere, right? Of course I wasn't. Of course I wasn't. Okay, that's been solved. So yeah, I'll have steampunk next session. The Eiffel Tower is in the process of being built. It's still going to take a while, but once it's in, it's not going to be a problem anymore. I don't need the truck shipping warehouse. I should build hot potato though, and that's a very, very cheap building now that I have potatoes. Which turns out they were growing near Persepolis? Passaggate, yeah. Right here, potatoes. Crops, specific crops are just annoyingly difficult to find sometimes. Would you believe that at one game I've gone until like this point in the game basically, industrial era before I found any grains? Oh, that was a rough one. Because I couldn't build any millstones. Which was annoying. Surprisingly so. But yes, Passaggate is done with its revolt period. Persepolis will be done soon as well, so I can start building improvements around it. So, don't do that. Yeah. I'm going to continue slowly dealing with these portions, filling them in. Probably better if I could ensure that nah, it's not that important. I mean, they do have compass, so they can start doing nonsense all over the place, but I can keep an eye on everything well enough so that it's not really an issue. At least I think I can. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough. Yeah. I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye.